If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and many blessings to you this holiday season. Welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made in this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made in first, followed by a movie clip, a trailer, some pictures, or something that's going on in the community. Then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in. So let's waste no time. That's a good deal. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Are we ready for more snow up here in Ohio? As temperatures drop, it may now be time to bring out the snow boots, shovel, and salt for the driveway. Temperatures are steadily dropping, so now may be the time to prepare for winter. Being well prepared also means checking smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, and making sure your family and pets have a safe escape plan in case of a fire. A report surfaced in Youngstown about how a family lost their home and pets in a house fire recently. Now, many local districts are now getting their trucks prepared. Youngstown just got 2 new plow trucks. It's been over 12 years since the city purchased some new trucks. Good news. Story number 2. Governor Mike DeWine facing more opposition. Now, some key Ohio Republicans are not happy with the way Governor Mike DeWine has handled state policies while dealing businesses some heavy blows to contain the spread of COVID-19. Now, although a large number of people agree with how the governor has handled the virus, the fact that the state's economy is at stake could be why there are so many mixed reviews. Now, due to a high survival rate, a lot of people are questioning the overreaction to COVID-19. The keystone in this developing story is how hospitals will be able to hold up due to a rise in cases. One amazing fact to keep in mind while this story develops is where you see human viruses, you often see doctors. But what happens when you add governing and the media in the equation? That's what makes this story so interesting, and that's why I made it in this week. Story number 3. The virus is still itching away at the wants and desires of local residents. Local residents are itching to get things back to normal, but the virus is really causing a lot of problems. One problem is the new reality of state governing policies limiting businesses from operating at full capacity during a crisis, which some patrons are trying to overturn. Now, businesses are having a hard time keeping up, and they are also losing customers. Another factor is money. That's a big factor. Local patrons are having a hard time managing their pocketbooks. Now, the small business sector is also being hit hard due to restrictions. So just keep in mind that family-owned businesses are in need. Family-owned businesses have been seeing a large decline in traffic because they cannot compete price-wise with bigger corporations. So please keep that in mind this holiday season, that even if you're shopping at family-owned businesses, you're not only doing them a good service, but you're keeping them alive. Big headline. Story number 4. Who wants to be the next mayor of Youngstown? Who wants to be? Tito Brown and some other well-known names in Youngstown are looking to be Youngstown's next champion mayor. Tracy Winbush says she will run, and Julius Oliver is also considering giving it a go. I guess in the goal to rebrand the city also faces some things like a faltering education system, and must regain the trust of local residents when it comes to the management of city and federal dollars. The city will also need to focus on the local business climate by finding ways to keep local business funded and happy. Now, over the years, Youngstown has also had a problem with crime and corruption. It may be clear that the city faces a all-hands-on-deck approach to overcome the woes from the past. Now, that means it will take a team effort because no one in the city seems to have a clean resume, according to outsiders. That means there's a lot of polishing that needs to be done from the past when it comes to city officials and city governing. So keep an eye on story number 4. Interesting story. Big headline. Story number 5. Even in the wrath of COVID-19, businesses are fighting on. Now, if it isn't protest, it's self-governing. In the wrath of COVID-19, local businesses fight on to protect their brand and identity when dealing with the coronavirus. COVID-19 has left a lot of business owners out in the cold and crippled entertainment districts along the way. Now, one key factor in this story is the attention that the virus is putting on how money and potential money that could be circulating inside of the local economy is handled and could be handled. So keep an eye on story number 5. Big headline. Story number 6. Local hospitals are running out of space. The side effect from closing hospitals are being felt because new reports are surfacing about local hospitals running out of space, beds, ventilators, and other equipment, while also showing a growing challenge to flatten the curve. Now, in this local report, it's good to note that not all local hospitals are having a problem. But what makes this story important is the ripple effect when one hospital closes and reaches full capacity and then pushes along the way the weight on another hospital. So story number 6 is a big headline. That's why I made it in this week. Story number 7 and the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made it in this week. Spending the COVID-19 money, which a lot of people are doing. A lot of COVID-19 money has relieved many local governments from the stress of falling short of deficits. But what happens if there is no more relief money left to give out? Spending inside of COVID-19 is becoming a major concern for local economies. This local economy period. The coronavirus has not only caused major problems, but it is also costing the federal government a lot of money. Now, in this developing story, it will be interesting to see how local and state governments can rebound. That's what got this story in this week, and that's what got it into the top 2. Keep an eye on story number 7. Story number 8 and the top local headline and developing news story that made it in this week. Drum roll. An entire paper filled with 2019 delinquent taxes. Now, the sad part about any venture in life is paying taxes. The Mahoning County Auditor reported an entire 10 pages of delinquent land taxes from 2019 to 2020. It's clear that delinquent taxes is hindering the Mahoning County from reaching its fullest potential. The challenge now is how can this growing problem be overcome? Big headline, and that's why I made it at the top this week. Well, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories. So don't go anywhere. You're on the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
All aboard!
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com. Method8inc.com where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program.